Picture this: a mining magnate worth billions, decked out in a wide-brimmed stockman's hat, clutching a "Drill Baby Drill" sign, and rubbing shoulders with the Trump family at a glitzy Mar-a-Lago election night bash. It's not a scene from a Hollywood satirate's real life, and the star is Gina Rinehart, Australia's richest person. Dubbed a female Donald Trump by her allies in the Trumpeters, a high society fan club for the former US president, Rinehart isn't just cheering from the sidelines. She's on a mission to transplant Trump's Make America Great Again, MAGA, ethos onto Australian soil. With her immense wealth, political clout, and a vision of deregulation, tax cuts, and fossil fuel fervor, she's stirring up a storm down under. But what does this mean for a country that prides itself on its laid-back egalitarianism? Is this a tally of one woman's quirky obsession, or a sign of something bigger, a seismic shift in Australia's political and economic landscape? Buckle up, because this story is as wild as the Pilbara outback, where Rinehart's fortune was forged. Who is Gina Rinehart? To understand this saga, we need to start with the woman herself. Gina Rinehart, born in 1954, is the daughter of Lang Hancock, a larger-than-life figure who struck it rich discovering iron ore in Western Australia's Pilbara region. When Hancock died in 1992, Rinehart inherited his struggling mining empire, Hancock Prospecting, and turned it into a juggernaut. Today, her net worth hovers around 40 billion Australian dollar, making her not just Australia's wealthiest individual, but one of the richest women in the world. Her empire spans iron ore, coal, gas, and even premium Wagyu beef, because why stop at mining when you can brand cattle too? Rinehart's no stranger to controversy. She's penned poems etched onto iron ore boulders, railing against government red tape, and once suggested Australian workers should take a page from Africa's $2 a day labour book, a comment that didn't exactly win her fans among the working class. She's also a media mogul, with stakes in outlets like Channel 10 and Fairfax, giving her a megaphone to amplify her views. But it's her growing infatuation with Donald Trump and his MAGA movement that's raising eyebrows and stakes across the continent. The Trump Connection, a love story in red, white and blue. Rinehart's Trump fandom isn't a recent fling. It dates back to at least 2016 when she met with his campaign team, think Rudy Giuliani and Kellyanne Conway, and praised his election win as a triumph of listening to the people over media elites. She's been a fixture at Trump events ever since. A White House state dinner in 2019 with then Prime Minister Scott Morrison, Trump's 2024 campaign launch at Mar-a-Lago, his election night victory party in November 2024, and his January 2025 inauguration. She's even taken out full-page ads in US. Newspapers like the New York Post hailing Trump as an outstanding leader who loves his country. Her ties run deeper through the Trumpets, a group of wealthy women founded by Tony Holt Kramer in 2015 to champion Trump's cause. Rinehart's been called the lead trumpetty in Australia, a title she's embraced with gusto. At Mar-a-Lago, she's posed with Trump's kids Eric, Tiffany mingled with MAGA luminaries like Nigel Farage and Elon Musk. She's even redesigned her Perth headquarters with MAGA flair, including a silver sculpture of Peanut the Squirrel, a quirky symbol of the movement after the pet's euthanization sparked outrage among Trump supporters. Add a plaque with an Elon Musk quote on freedom, and you've got a shrine to the MAGA aesthetic. The MAGA blueprint. What Rinehart wants for Australia. So, what's Rinehart's game plan? She's not just a cheerleader, she's a proselytizer, urging Australia to adopt Trump's playbook. Her wish list reads like a MAGA manifesto tailored for the outback. Deregulation on steroids. Rinehart's long railed against government tape, her term for bureaucratic red tape. She's pushing for an Australian version of Trump's Department of Government Efficiency, DOG, a brainchild of Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy aimed at slashing United States federal spending. In Australia, she wants approvals for mining projects fast-tracked. arguing delays stifle investment and jobs. Tax cuts for the top. Echoing Trump's 2017 corporate tax slash from 35% to 21%, Rinehart wants Australia to lower company taxes and ease compliance burdens. She claims this will lure investment, boost growth, and lift living standards, although critics argue it mostly pads the pockets of the already rich. Fossil fuels forever. Rinehart's a coal and gas evangelist, and she's thrilled by Trump's "drill baby drill" mantra. She's called for Australia to ditch the Paris Climate Agreement, blaming it for high energy costs and suffering among ordinary Aussies. Renewables? She says they're unreliable and destroy farmland, are but wind and solar projects. Cultural crusaders. Rinehart's even dipped into Trump's culture wars, praising his stance on recognizing only two genders. It's a Nikkei issue for a mining tycoon, but it signals her alignment with MAGA's broader ideological fight. Her vision's clear: less government, more business, and a hearty dose of Trumpian bravado. She's told The Australian she hopes Australia will watch and learn from Trump, warning that without this shift, the country risks being left behind. The Australian context: a fertile ground or a tough sell. Australia's no stranger to conservative politics, considering John Howard's long reign or Tony Abbott's coal-hugging tenure. But Trump's bombastic style and MAGA's populist edge feel like a cultural mismatch for a nation that cherishes its fair go ethos. Rinehart's pitch taps into real frustrations, including rising energy costs, a housing crisis, and a bureaucracy that can feel suffocating, but her solutions go heavily toward her own interests as a mining titan. Take her Hancock prospecting empire. Her iron ore projects in the Pilbara have faced environmental hurdles, and she's lobbied hard against tighter regulations like the Albanese government's stolid nature reforms. Deregulation would be a boon for her bottom line, but at what cost? Critics point to Australia's fragile ecosystems, such as the Great Barrier Reef bleaching, and argue her fossil fuel push ignores a global shift toward renewables. Her tax cut crusade, meanwhile, aligns with the Liberal National Coalition's pro-business bent, but Labour and the Greens see it as a giveaway to the ultra-wealthy while public services like health and education languish. Then there is the Trump tariff threat. His plan for 20% import levies could hammer Australia's $36 billion export economy. Yet Rinehart has downplayed it, suggesting Trump will use tariffs as a bargaining chip, not a blanket policy. It is a gamble that has left economists skeptical and exporters nervous. The players, allies and adversaries. Rinehart's not alone in this crusade. She's got cheerleaders in the coalition, particularly opposition leader Peter Dutton, who's echoed Trump's anger of the voters rhetoric. Her donations to conservative causes and think tanks like the Institute of Public Affairs amplify her influence. Sky News Australia, with its Murdoch tease, often parrots her talking points, giving her a media echo chamber. But she has foes too. The Albanese Labour government has rejected her Dodge idea, with Home Affairs Minister Claire O'Neill arguing it would gut essential services like hospitals and schools, saying billionaires can pay their own way for, but ordinary people rely on. Environmentalists and Indigenous groups, wary of her mining expansion, see her as a threat to land and climate. And everyday Aussies? Many roll their eyes at her Trump obsession, viewing it as a billionaire's vanity project out of touch with their daily grind. The stakes. What's really at play? This is not just about one woman's whims. Rinehart's push reflects a broader global trend. The ultra-rich flexing their muscle to shape politics in their image. In the US, Trump is surrounded by billionaires like Musk and Jeff Bezos, blurring lines between private wealth and public power. Rinehart is trying to import that model, leveraging her fortune, built on Australia's natural resources, to steer national policy. The implications are huge. If she succeeds, Australia could see a turbocharged mining boom, but at the expense of environmental protections and social equity. Her anti-Paris stance could derail climate goals, while her tax cuts might widen an already yawning wealth gap. Australia's Gini coefficient, a measure of inequality, is already creeping up. And politically, a MAGA-inspired shift could deepen polarization in a country that has historically leaned toward pragmatic compromise rather than ideological slugfests. Yet, there is pushback. Australia's democratic guardrails, such as compulsory voting and a robust public sector, aren't easily dismantled. Rinehart's wealth buys influence, but not total control. The 2025 federal election looms as a test. Will voters embrace her vision via Dutton's coalition or stick with Labour's more cautious path? The human angle, beyond the headlines. Step back from the policy wonkery, and this is a story of people. Rinehart is a product of her upbringing, raised in the rugged Pilbara and shaped by a father who saw government as the enemy. Her resilience is real. She turned a faltering inheritance into a global powerhouse. But her worldview, where investment trumps all, clashes with Aussies who see value in community, not just commerce. Think of the Pilbara workers mining her ore, or the farmers she claims are hurt by renewables. Her policies could mean jobs for some, displacement for others. Survivors of her influence, like Indigenous communities fighting mining on sacred land, tell a different tale of resilience, one she rarely acknowledges. This isn't just about dollars, it's about whose Australia prevails. Critical lens, questioning the narrative. Let's not swallow the hype whole. Rinehart paints herself as a patriot saving Australia from socialism, but her track record, such as dodging taxes via trusts and clashing with her own kids over inheritance, suggests self-interest drives her as much as ideology. Trump's MAGA worked in America's polarized, post-industrial mess. Australia is a different beast, with a stronger safety net and less appetite for culture wars. Her female Donald Trump label flatters her ambition but oversimplifies the context. The media's split too. Outlets like The Guardian frame her as a danger to democracy. Others, like The Australian, cheer her as a capitalist hero. Both have agendas, progressive alarmists versus conservative boosterism. The truth? She's neither savior nor villain, but a power player betting big on a Trumpian gamble. A fork in the road. Gina Rinehart's MAGA crusade is a wild ride, one part spectacle, one part warning. She's a billionaire with a vision, a Trump acolyte with a mission, and a force Australia can't ignore. Whether she's lighting a path to prosperity or dragging the country into a divisive ditch depends on who's looking and who's voting. As the 2025 election nears, her influence will be tested. Will Australia say yes to her drill baby drill dream? Or nah, mate, to a borrowed American fantasy? One thing's certain, this is no quiet yarn. It's a full-on, fair dinkum showdown for the soul of a nation. So grab a cold one, watch the sparks fly, and decide for yourself, because hope, like iron ore, is worth digging for.